Rivals Radio.
Welcome back to Rivals Radio here on the Rivals Broadcast Network. Really glad you could join us today.
Yeah, great to be here. We've got a big one today.
We certainly do. We're doing a deep dive into, well, what feels like a major shakeup in the Football Rivals Pro League.
Absolutely. The focus today is this huge update, especially for anyone following the Nexus South. The Louisville Wildcats. They've officially named their new general manager.
Yeah, it's Vince Dooley Jr.
That's the name.
Yeah.
And the ripples are already spreading.
Yeah, and look, when we say new general manager, that just doesn't quite capture it, does it? This feels like more than just filling a vacancy.
Oh, definitely. It feels very strategic.
Yeah.
A real statement of intent from the Wildcats as they head into year 2.
Right. It could honestly redefine their whole approach, maybe even, shift the power balance in the Nexus South.
That's what we want to unpack today. Not just who Vince Dooley Jr. is, but why this specific hire feels so significant right now.
Okay, so let's start with the man himself, Vince Dooley Jr. You hear that name, especially if you follow college football.
You immediately think Georgia, right? Football royalty. It's a name that just carries immense weight in the sport.
Absolutely. It comes from that legendary lineage, so the pedigree is undeniable.
Totally. But it's not just the name, is it? When you dig into his actual experience, it's fascinatingly diverse.
It really is. I mean, first off, he was a standout player himself, University of Georgia, played the game at a high level.
Which is always valuable, that player perspective. He knows what it's like down on the field.
For sure. But then he moves into scouting for college teams. So he develops that eye for talent, for potential.
Right, evaluating players, not just being one. That's a different skill set entirely.
And then coaching too, right? Division III level.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe not the spotlight of DI or the pros, but that's where you really learn the nuts and bolts of building a program, developing players, often with, fewer resources.
Builds character, you'd think. And then there's the football camp he started in Georgia. Apparently became a real powerhouse.
Which tells you something about his ability to teach, to develop talent from the ground up, to build a culture. That's hands-on experience.
Okay, but here's where the path takes a really unusual turn for a future pro GM.
This is the part that jumps out, yeah. The film business.
That successful camp somehow led him into creating this thriving film production company, attracting global projects. Became a bit of a legend in Georgia for that.
It's pretty unique. You got deep football roots, playing, scouting, coaching, development, combined with this proven business acumen. Building something successful in a totally different, highly competitive field.
It's just not the typical resume, is it? Player, scout, coach, camp owner, film mogul, now pro league GM.
Not at all. And you have to wonder, with all that success, especially outside football, why jump back in now? Why the pro league? Why the Wildcats?
Well, and the story there is interesting too. Apparently he made the call.
Oh, really? He reached out?
Yeah, sources say he personally contacted the league commissioner, said he was ready, wanted to get into the pro scene, wanted to dominate with Louisville.
Wow. So he targeted this. He saw an opportunity with the Wildcats.
Seems like it. And for Louisville, with that distinctive brown, red, and yellow jungle cat identity heading into year 2, maybe they felt they needed more than just a football ops guy.
Maybe they needed that broader vision, that entrepreneurial drive he clearly has.
Yeah.
Someone to really build the brand, not just the roster.
Could be. His success in film, building something from scratch, maybe that really clicked with what the Wildcats want to achieve long term.
Makes sense. This blend of football knowledge and business savvy. It's a powerful combination. Suggests a very holistic approach.
And you can already see maybe hints of that broader vision. He's apparently been involved in the team's year 2 aesthetic upgrade.
Right, I saw that. He mentioned being proud of helping shape that new, fiercer look for the team, connecting with that jungle cat theme.
So it's not just about the playbook right away. It's about the identity, the brand, making a statement visually.
Exactly, setting a tone. And speaking of tone, his plan for the staff is interesting too. He's keeping the current coaching staff, right?
Yeah, continuity there, no big clean out. But he's been very clear about the goal.
Which is?
To create a unified system and, his words, instill a hard-hitting mindset for year 2.
Okay, hard-hitting mindset. So same coaches, but a new philosophy, a new edge he wants them to bring.
Seems to be the plan. Which, can be tricky, implementing a new mentality without changing the messengers. But he seems confident.
Well, he has the tools to reshape the personnel to fit that mindset, doesn't he, with the draft picks?
Oh, yeah. That's the other huge factor here. 11 draft picks.
11. That is a significant amount of ammunition to work with.
And he said his goal is to bolster a team already set at some key positions.
So again, not a teardown. He sees a foundation, key players already there, and he wants to build around them, add pieces. Surgical additions.
Exactly. And where are those additions likely going?
Well, he's been pretty explicit about focusing on offense. Wants to establish their identity there.
And that identity sounds aggressive.
Yeah. The quote is something else. He wants the Wildcats known for punching you in the throat first and not letting up while you stagger.
Wow. Okay. Punching you in the throat. That's direct.
Very direct.
Yeah.
Leaves no room for interpretation, does it? It's physical, it's relentless, it's about imposing your will.
Definitely paints a picture. An aggressive, maybe even intimidating style of play he wants to build.
For sure. And you have to think, with 11 picks, he can really target players who fit that mold. Physical guys, tough mentality.
But, is there a risk there? That punch you in the throat mentality, could it lead to penalties, maybe become predictable if not coached right?
That's always the balancing act with aggression, isn't it? But his background, especially the coaching and scouting, suggests he understands technique and discipline. It's probably about controlled aggression, finding players who can play physically within the rules.
And it helps that he's not starting from zero on the roster.
Absolutely not. He inherits some real talent, like Brian Moreland at cornerback.
Elite player. Led the league in pass breakups last year, didn't he?
12 of them. Yeah. Having a lockdown corner like that already in place is huge.
It frees you up, right? Knowing your secondary has that anchor lets you maybe focus those draft picks, like you said, on building that offensive identity he wants.
Precisely. He can pour resources into the offense, knowing the defense has key pieces. It all seems very calculated.
Which brings us to the Nexus South. Because Dooley Jr. hasn't just talked about his own team's mentality, he's already looking outward.
He wasted no time addressing the division, did he? He acknowledged it's talented.
A talented division, he said, and we look forward to competing and fighting for that top spot again.
That, again, is interesting. Like, they were already there, or should have been, setting expectations high immediately.
But he didn't stop at just general competition, did he?
No, he did not. He took direct aim.
At the champs, the Albuquerque Dukes.
Yep. The Dukes, GM Walt Shelby, they had that incredible run last year, won the Nexus West, went all the way to the Rivals Cup final.
And Dooley Jr.'s message to them.
Crystal clear. Quote, "We have our eyes on that top spot, so watch out, Dukes."
Watch out, Dukes! I mean, wow, that's throwing down the gauntlet. Day one on the job, basically.
No messing around. It instantly ramps up the tension for next season, doesn't it?
Absolutely. It puts the Dukes on notice, obviously. But it also sends a message to everyone else in the Nexus South. The strangers, the Firebirds, the Marauders.
Right. Suddenly, Louisville isn't just another team trying to climb the ladder. They've got a leader publicly targeting the throne. It changes the dynamic for everyone.
You have to expect those divisional games are going to have even more spice now.
Oh, for sure. And for you listening, what do you make of this kind of bold public challenge? Does it fire up the Wildcats, or does it just put a massive target on their back?
How do you think the Dukes... How will Walt Shelby respond to being called out like that?
It adds a whole layer of intrigue before a single game is played.
So, pulling it all together, what's the big takeaway here? Vince Dooley Jr.'s arrival isn't just a personnel move.
No, it feels like an event. It's injected this immediate energy, this drama, into the offseason. It's changed the conversation around the Wildcats and the Nexus South.
It sets up so many questions for year two, doesn't it?
Definitely. Can he actually translate that vision, that hard-hitting mindset, onto the field quickly? How will those 11 draft picks pan out? Will they really deliver on that offensive aggression?
And the rivalries. How intense does it get with the Dukes? How do the other teams step up?
It's fascinating. This announcement, it's not just news. It feels like the start of a whole new chapter, potentially a really fiery one for the league.
You just have to admire the confidence, though, the clarity of vision. Vince Dooley Jr. comes in, and boom, everyone knows exactly what he intends to do.
No ambiguity. He's put the entire league on notice, but especially the Nexus South. The Wildcats are definitely a team to watch.
They really are. He's made them impossible to ignore right out of the gate.
So the big question for you to think about, with this aggressive plan, this direct challenge, how soon will we see that punch-you-in-the-throat mentality actually take hold and maybe dominate the division? And what other surprises might this kind of leadership bring?
Lots to think about, lots to anticipate. We'll definitely be following it closely. For all of us here, thanks for tuning in to Rivals Radio.
Yeah, thanks everyone. Stay locked right here on the Rivals Broadcast Network for all the updates as we get closer to year two.
Rivals Radio.